Hello guys, welcome back. Now in this session we are going to write our first IaC code with Terraform. So let's look into the agenda what we are going to perform in this session. So in this session we are going to create an EC2 instance using Terraform, and to create the EC2 instance we need to follow these 6 steps. So the first step where we need to define the Terraform block. In the second step we are going to write the provider block in the same program or say in the same file. Then we need to also define the resource block. Don't worry, we are going to discuss all these things in detail in the upcoming session. This session we will entirely focus on writing the code, and later session onwards we are going to discuss about all these things, whatever the things which we are going to use within the program. So after that, step 3 we are going to perform a step 4 where we need to initialize the Terraform code block. In this step the actual initialization of the providers happen. So when you run the Terraform init command, it will download the required provider into our system. That we will discuss in detail. Then at step 5, we need to verify our configuration with the help of Terraform plan command. Once you run this command, then it will give you the configuration information about your required infrastructure which you want to set up. And once you are happy with your plan, then you can proceed to the step 6 where you need to apply your infrastructure with the help of Terraform apply command. One thing I would like to tell it over here, that the last 3 step 4, 5, 6 step is going to be the repetitive steps in each of the program, whatever the program you will write within Terraform. So that means we are going to use it frequently. So now we understand that what we need to perform. So let's jump into the step 1. So before writing the step 1, we have to follow some of the prerequisites, and the prerequisites are you need to create a folder, whatever name you want to give. I have given Terraform -exercise, and then you need to open this folder in Visual Studio Code. So over here I will open with Visual Studio Code. So currently we are not having any program over here. So to create a new program, what we need to do, we need to create a file called, and we will specify that ec2-instance.tf. Now let's follow along with me. So let's start writing the first step. So in the first step I am going to create a required provider block within the Terraform block. So I need to tell that Terraform, and over here the curly braces, and within that I need to specify which provider I am going to use. So for that I need to specify required providers, and within that I need to specify I want AWS. So over here I will specify sources, and over here I need to tell HashiCorp AWS. So this is our first step. Here we have defined which provider I am going to use, and the provider is AWS and the source is coming from here. Now the next step. So let's look into that. Now next we need to define a provider block. So let's do it. So I will tell that provider, and here I need to specify AWS, and then over here I need to specify profile. I will tell that default, and over here I need to specify the region information, in which region, as you know that we are having multiple region in AWS, so where we want to create it. So where do you get the information? Let's look into that. So to get the region information, you need to come to the console and click it over here. Then you will get the region information. For example, our default region information is North Virginia, and over here the code is US-East-1. So we will write it there. So here I will specify US-East-1. So we are done with the second step. Now let's look into the third step. In the third step, we need to create a resource block. As you are aware that AWS has many resources, and for our specific example, we want to create EC2 instance. So this resource I want to create. One thing I would like to tell you that within Terraform, each of the services of AWS is considered as resources. Or if you go for any of the provider, each of the services which they offers, for example, if you are going with the Azure, there is a virtual machine we usually create in Azure. So virtual machine is considered as resources within Terraform. For this particular example, EC2 is also considered as a resource within the Terraform. For example, if you look into the AWS console, we have various services. All these services is considered as resource within the Terraform. In our current example, we are using the EC2 resource. So let's create it. So to create the resource, we need to create the resource block. So for that, we need to specify resource, and over here we need to specify that I want AWS instance, and over here I need to specify the name of the resource. This is going to be the name which we will provide. For example, I want to create DevBox. So over here I need to specify now which AMI I should use. So for that I need to write AMI. As you already aware that AMI means Amazon Machine Image, and over here we need to specify that ID of that particular machine image. So from where we can get that? So let's look into that. So to get the AMI, you need to click on EC2. So it will take you to the EC2 console. Each region has their own AMI ID for respective instance type. For example, we are going to create t2.micro. So how do we can grab the ID? We need to come to the EC2 dashboard, and over here we need to click on instances. Then we will get the option of launch instance. You need to click in this button. Then it will give you the options of various Amazon machine image. So over here you will see that we are having AMI, and I'm going to use this one. So grab this one, Control C, and paste it over here, Control V. So we got the AMI on which I want my system will be created, or say my EC2 instance will be created. One important point I wanted to tell you over here is that this AMI vary from region to region. For example, if you come here and if you select the US East, so then you will find that the same kind of image will vary in ID. See here, so the ID has been changed. Let's copy this one. So let's copy this one and let's compare it. So earlier we are having this ID, and that is within the US East one, that is North Virginia region. Now paste it over here, then you will see that this is different, that is from the Ohio region. Now this is about the AMI. Now another thing we need to specify is the instance type. So what kind of instance type we are going to create? We are going to create the free tier, and that is our T2 micro. So let's look into that. So here I need to specify that instance type equal to, and I will specify T2 dot micro. So let's look into that into the console. Let me change the region. So I am creating in North Virginia region. Now here you need to click on select, and the moment you will click on select, then you will get the option for the instance type. And over here we are going to use T2.micro as it is free tier eligible. So we already mentioned there. So let's go to the program. So that's it. We have done with our program. We have written our first IaC code in Terraform, and it is so powerful that with the help of these 19 line of codes, you are able to create an EC2 instance with this AMI ID with instance type of T2.micro. So let's run it. So how we can run it? Let's look into that. So to run it, you need to go to the view, and over here you need to click on terminal, and the moment you click on terminal, you will get a terminal. Over here you can choose any of one. Either you can use the PowerShell or you can use the command prompt. Within Linux you will get the option for bash. Make sure that you are saving the program over here, Control S. So the first step, we need to write Terraform init enter. We have a typo over here, that's the reason we are getting a error. Instead of Terraform, it should be Terraform. Sorry guys. So now save it again. Before running it again, I wanted to show you something. If you look into our folder, then you will find that we have only one file. Once we run the Terraform init, then it will load some of the information for the provider and keep it over here into a folder. I will show you. Currently there is nothing, no folder exists over here. So let's run now Terraform init. So let's write Terraform init enter. So it is running, and you must be noticed that it haven't asked for any kind of authentication now. Why? Because we have already configured the authentication and we have created the credential file which I have showed you in the last session. So it is picking those information from there, the credential information from that location, and then it is further processing it. So here you will see that it is initializing the backend, initializing the provider and plugins. So now let's look into that, what it has done. So if you closely look into this, then you will find that it has initialized the backend, initialized the provider plugin. So what it did in this, so let's look into that. So over here you will see that it has created a folder, and within that it has downloaded the plugins that is required to create the EC2 instance. And within that you will find that it has HashiCorp, and within that we have a folder, and it has downloaded the Terraform provider AWS IaC, and this will help us to create the EC2 instance. So what is the next step? Let's look into that. Now we have done till 4 steps. We have already completed the 4th step where we have initialized the Terraform. Now within the 5th step, we are going to write Terraform plan command. This command will help us give us all information about the configuration which is going to be applied to the AWS resources. So let's look into that. So here you need to write Terraform plan enter. So guys, this has given us the execution plan. And over here you will see that which we have applied in our configuration, like which AMI we are going to use. So we have provided this information. Along with that, we have also provided instance type. What kind of instance type we are going to create? So it has picked it from the configuration. And remaining thing you will see it over here. It is telling them known after apply. That means it is being generated once you run the Terraform apply command. Guys, we will have a detailed discussion about Terraform plan command in one of the later session. For this session, you just consider it. It is one of the way by which you can plan your required configuration which you want to apply within the given resource of the provider. Now we are happy with the plan. Now the next step, we need to run Terraform apply. So let me clear it out. CLS. So over here I will write Terraform, and over here I will tell apply. So this will actually create the resource within the AWS. So now press enter. So now it has executed, and over here it is asking for confirmation. So we need to specify yes over here so that it will create the resource within AWS. Enter. So it has started creating that. So we are creating DevVox, that is of AWS instance. So over here you will see that it has successfully added one resource. Now let's verify it in AWS console. So let's jump to the AWS console. So let's click it over here, and over here we need to go to the EC2 dashboard. So we need to click it over here, EC2, and within that you will find it over here, one running instance. So click it over here and verify that. So over here you will find that one instance is running, and if you will confirm that, so over here you will see that we are having the same AMI ID which we have provided along with zone which we have specified. US is 1A. So now we have done with our exercises which we have planned for this session. So let's sum up it. So in this session we have started with writing the program. That is our first IaC code, that is infrastructure as code with Terraform, and for that we have written Terraform block. We have also defined provider block. We have also defined resource block. Then we have initialized the Terraform code block. After that, we have executed Terraform plan command that will help us to understand that whatever the configuration which we have applied, whether it is good or not, if there is any changes will be required, so we can go ahead and we will do the changes. And anyway, we are going to discuss about all these things in the upcoming session. And next, we have also applied the configuration which we have created with the help of Terraform apply command. And this is what I wanted to demonstrate you in this session. But prior to closing the session, I wanted to tell you one important thing that is very important. Make sure that you are going to destroy the EC2 instance which you have created. So let's do it, else you will be charged. So over here you need to specify Terraform destroy. This command I will discuss in detail, but for a time being, you just consider that with the help of this command, we are able to destroy whatever the configuration which we have applied earlier. That configuration will be used to destroy the resources which is being created with the help of that particular configuration. In our example, the same configuration is being taken into consideration, and the resource which we have created, that will be destroyed. So let's do enter over here. So currently you are seeing that it is running. We have run the command. So over here it has started it to destroy it. So it is asking for confirmation. So we need to tell yes, enter. So it is destroying now. So now the resource is being destroyed. Over here you will see that it is mentioning the same. So now let's verify it by going into the console. So over here you need to refresh it. Then you will find that it has marked it as dominated state. So now you are not being charged for the instance which we have created earlier because we have terminated it. So guys, now we have done with our exercises which we have performed in this session. In the next session, we will discuss more about provider blocks. On this note, I am stopping over here. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.